beyond that, let's talk about a little bit more safety. And that
Let's do that.
is what had happened in Florida with the Uber Eats driver. I'm sure everybody already knows what had happened, so we're not going to go too far into the story, but quite crazy what happened.
Honestly, I get emotional when I read these things because this is inhuman. I mean, I don't know what this world is coming to, but this is inhuman. Okay, I don't give a. And then I cuss people. Say you cuss, Serge. I go like, okay. Um, you know, a human life to a lot of people is worth a lot. To this asshole, MS-13 gang member, I guess it was not. So this was an Uber Eats driver who was delivering a food order to this guy in Florida. And he was not the guy that ordered it. By the way, this gentleman had come out of jail early after charge of assault with a deadly weapon from Indiana. Somehow they let him out early, 4 years. And he was able to travel. I'm sure, I don't know if he violated his parole or not, but these assholes don't care about that anyway. So he moved to his dad's house in Florida. And his dad was the one that actually ordered the food. And this gentleman, 59-year-old, wonderful man, delivered the food. And Randall Cook. And, he texted his wife, "This is my last trip. I'm going to see you, honey. Love you, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, okay. So this asshole in the middle with the tattoos covering his face, takes the guy in, obviously. And, I'm not going to get into the gory details anyway, but kills the guy. Then cuts him to pieces in trash bags. His car was found 3 miles away, Randall Cook's car. And, there's a beautiful man, life ruined, family's life ruined. All for what? For someone, what? I don't even know what. I mean, I'm speechless. Seriously, the more of these things I see every time, I get numb to them because I go like, there's one every day now. Because there were like 5 this week, literally like 5 or 6 last week, and I'm like, who does this? What kind of human? I'm not sure if this asshole is a human, but who does this, right? And now, we don't do this. We did it with the veteran that was killed in California a couple weeks, 3 weeks ago by 2 assholes who pulled him in a 7-Eleven Uber trip and killed him. So we put up his GoFundMe page. So, with all respect to his family, we're putting up Randall Cook's GoFundMe page. Please don't ask me for the link because if you Google this guy, say GoFundMe page for Randall Cook, you can find it easily. I'm sorry for his family. Condolences. They said he was a loving man, and I'm sure he was, and he was just doing a delivery probably for $6, $5, $8, whatever. Okay. And another beautiful life is taken, and I am getting really, Chris. I need to. I mean, we need to do shit about this. Okay. I mean, I don't know what we can do more than talk about it, but I'm telling you, I don't know if we have like 200 people watching here, and all 200 are in different cities. Hopefully, maybe not, but in whatever city you're in, you need to contact your legislatures. You need to call their offices. You need to talk about driver safety, because a lot of places still, by the way, don't have upfront destination. Okay. With transparency, full transparency, comes driver safety. I'm not even sure if this guy knew where he was going. I'm not even sure if he would have accepted this order to take it to this. Maybe it was a bad neighborhood. But we're all scared about this terms of service because Uber says, "Oh, you're declining a lot of trips going into these bad areas." I'm like, well, as an independent contractor, it is my right to decline these trips if I don't feel safe. So you can't play both games, both sides of the road, Uber. You can't tell me I'm an independent contractor and say, on the other hand, threaten me, saying that, if you don't take too many trips going into bad neighborhoods, you're going to get deactivated, which we get those messages. Please, if you guys want to help me and Chris, call your legislature. Talk about these issues. There are bills floating in the country in 6, 7, 8 states now. And I'm behind each one that is for driver rights. And
Yep.
I'm in touch with their legislatures, and I'm going to push as hard as I can and with whatever I have in my power to stop this, because this is completely unnecessary. And to me, it's like, you get numb to it after a while, Chris. You hear every one a day. Oh, another Uber driver.
Crazy.
Oh, another Lyft driver. I'm like, what the fuck, man? This is bullshit, man. And you know what? These companies, and I know Norma, Jeff, you're not going to like this. They hide behind the veil of this independent contractor bullshit that we're under. Okay? Because if I'm an employee of this company, I'm suing your ass from here to kingdom come. My family is. These guys are going to fight Uber. Uber is going to fight this family all the way to the end. The only good thing Uber did in this case, Chris, is that they notified the law enforcement agency immediately, and then they went to the address. Usually they take their sweet time notifying law enforcement agencies. We talked about that. At least they did that right, that this guy's remains were found in trash bags within hours. So my thing is, because we're ICs, we have no rights. If I was an employee of Uber and I got killed, good luck, Uber. There's a lawsuit coming your way. But this just needs to stop. I mean, shit, man. It's got to.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing is the question comes down to, why is it happening? What's the mental state of these people? Clearly they're completely screwed up. And it's just a lack of so much when it comes down to, just everything. And that's what it seems like is going on. And it's one of those things. Yeah. As a driver, as a food delivery driver, you got to be very aware of things. As you said just a little bit ago, always head swivel on a stick. You want to be like looking back and forth, paying attention to what's going on. You want to be calculating. You want to be making sure, Clint just gave us a super chat. Appreciate that. But he also said martial arts training is important. And that, yeah, I mean, something like safety, defense classes, whether there's even car defense classes now, because unfortunately this is happening. And Uber and Lyft and RideShare has become so popular. So yeah, they have car defense classes where you could become a defense, martial artist in the car, especially with close quarters and things like that. So you just kind of know what to do. There's other things that you can do to protect yourself. And it's just a matter of making sure that you have everything in line. Hopefully you never need it. That's what we hope. That's what we truly hope. And that's the best thing I can try to let you know. I mean, yeah, they have all these tools. We just made a video yesterday that I posted, talking about, Uber answering the questions that you had asked us. And one of the questions was about safety, and they have like a ridiculous amount of stuff, which is good. It's good to have all that stuff. And, even if they can put more, the problem is what I said in the video, in the moment, if seconds count, if seconds matter, the only thing you're going to be able to rely on is yourself. And that is whether it's going to be some sort of defensive classes, martial arts, mixed martial arts, whatever it might be that you need to at least handle yourself, some side protection, whether that's firearm, whatever it might be. Don't let people see that, because again, that's against TOS. But, if more drivers band together and say too bad, so sad, they may have to change that whole side of things anyways. If you contact your legislators and say, look, this is what's happening, we want to feel safe, amend the law to make that happen. Things like that could potentially happen. The other side of the coin is, you want to make sure things, what are happening. Having dash camera, having something that can live stream or go to the cloud. We talk about display ride. Display ride is an amazing thing, because in the event that something does happen, you have that option to be able to have it go right to the cloud. And then even like live streaming or something, when it comes to having some sort of situation that arises that could go to your emergency contact or 911 or something like that. Yeah. I believe they're working on that, if it's not already rolled out. That's what I heard. So either way, that's a huge thing when it comes to safety. Just having these things in place. Dash cam is always just good to have, because it's always a he said, she said when it comes down to things. Unfortunately, Uber, Lyft, these other companies take the story of the passenger, or at least the story of the person who calls first. And then it's like try to prove your innocence on the other side. So if you have the dash camera, it's one-sided. It tells its story. It does not have an agenda on who's right and who's wrong. It tells you exactly what happened from start to finish. So having that there, then going with the defensive classes and stuff like that, just knowing what you can handle and knowing where you are. And then, yes, when it comes down to knowing these situations and the places, where are you going? And paying attention to that stuff. But yeah, the other side, I don't know what had happened. I don't know if he went into the house or whatnot. I'm not familiar with that part of the story. But never go inside, never go in a house, never go anywhere that you feel uncomfortable with. Even if you don't feel comfortable going up to the door or something just seems off. Put the food down, take a picture, and say, hey, the food's ordered. If you need a PIN code in order to complete it, well, at that point, maybe you want to do something else, get out of Dodge or something. But, always be thinking these different situations and try to think about it. Like, what would happen if I found myself in, this situation? Or you hear a news story. What would I do if I found myself in a situation? Because in the moment, you're not going to know what to do. But if you prepare and you plan for it, you'll have a better understanding. So in the event that it may happen, your mind's already in that process. Okay, this is happening. I'm going to do step 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Whatever
Memory,
it is
right? Muscle memory. You got to have the muscle memory in there. You have to have the muscle memory in there so you can do whatever you can do to protect yourself,
Yep.
And
then the other side of the coin too is when I say if there's an emergency when it comes to somebody actually in your car, something's happening, you don't know, and you got to get out of the car. What are you going to do? You got to grab your phone, grab your keys, get out of the car. Practice it a bunch of times. Every once or twice a day. Something it gives you that muscle memory in the event something happens. Because trust me, in the event of something actually unfolding at that moment, you're not going to know what to do. You're going to be all up crazy thinking, not focused, not knowing. The easiest thing, prepare for something. Hopefully you never need it, but in the event that you do, then at least you'll have some sort of plan of action. You'll have some sort of focus where you'll be able to take yourself and hopefully get out of that situation and hopefully live another day.
Yeah, I mean, Randall Cook, rest in peace. It wouldn't be surprising that you hear more of these stories, and it is what it is. And shout out actually to our crew, money hungry crew, Kim and Zach. They had a post last week. This poor guy got in a massive crash. He totaled his car on the way to the delivery. The paramedic, and he was on a Doordash delivery. You heard about that, right? When they were talking about it last week, the ambulance comes, takes the guy to the hospital. The guy calls his wife because I totaled the car. And then the wife shows up. Guess who's calling the wife? Well, the guy's phone. Doordash. Doordash asked the wife to finish the delivery. The guy totaled the car. He's in the hospital.
Wow. No, you know what? I remember. I recall them talking about that, but I didn't know which one you were talking about at first. But Jesus Christ, yeah, it doesn't make any sense, and I don't know if it's like some support person just doesn't realize what the hell's going on, or they switch it between people, and it's like you just don't know or what. But like, damn.
What part of total my car do you not understand? I'm in the hospital, or do you not understand? I mean, even if you're a chatbot, you would understand that. But anyway, so
yeah.
Have a dash cam, man. I'm telling you, I was not a huge proponent of these things. I'm just like 1,000,000% proponent of dash cam delivery, because if you're doing delivery, you get in a crash, you have no coverage, people. You figured that out yet? Even during the delivery, companies are not going to cover you. At least on RideShare on period 3, you have delivery, but then you have an a-hole in the back seat, okay? Just like John did. John had dash cam footage when he saved the woman's life from this abuser. Have a dash cam. I mean, we recommend Display Ride, which uploads to the cloud automatically. So even if they steal your dash cam, whatever happened is already there. They're going to get busted. They're working on a couple of additional things, which are not there yet, but I think they're going to be great additional tools for driver safety. When they do show up, we'll let you guys know. And your idea today, Chris, was amazing. For delivery drivers, a Display Ride, kind of a dash cam, like a GoPro on their chest, right? I mean, holy shit,
body camera.
That's an amazing freaking idea, bro. So, because then if this animal when he was killing the guy, you know, he'd be already in the cloud. He'd be like, okay, you know, see you later. But he
Well,
got busted anyway.
not only that, that could have been an absolute deterrent. You know,
Yeah.
if you see that camera on somebody, they may think twice about, you know, trying to do something. So yeah, I mean, having something like display ride for your like a body camera would be a great thing for food delivery drivers, because
Absolutely.
unfortunately, you know,
I think it's brilliant.
a lot of the stories you hear were always Uber and Lyft drivers, but now
Yeah.
you're starting to hear
Yeah.
DoorDash, Uber
A
Eats,
lot more.
you know,
Yeah.
Grubhubs. You're starting to
Yeah.
hear food delivery drivers. And I think it's, you know, unfortunately, people are like, oh, instead of having to go in the car, they just come to my house. So, yeah, it's just the only good thing is what I can say. If you know how to fight, if you've been trained, you know, mixed martial arts, jujitsu, whatever it might be, to be able to protect yourself, Krav Maga, whatever it might be, at least you're on your feet when it comes to food delivery. So if you're training yourself, great. That's probably that everybody should, because you're getting some sort of exercise on top of the walking to and from the restaurants and the deliveries itself. But yeah, I mean, that type of thing, you're right there. You're ready to go. You're ready to go down in the event. Hopefully you never do. But it can also be a great stress reliever as well. So if you get stressed out, yeah, I mean, there are definitely things that you can do as a person to help, you know, put yourself in a better situation, and that is definitely one of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, who knows?
So
Maybe we'll be seeing, maybe we'll be talking to a display right again, talking about their body cameras, which would be kind of cool.
I think that's a great idea. And you know, if you go to Display Ride site, use RSG20 because they have a 20% off on top of their 25% off until when is it? Until May what? May 15th?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah,
So
until May 15th.
yeah.
Until May 15th, RSG20 code will get you another 20% off. It's going to cost you $20 a month for a amazing camera that records inside, outside, and uploads it directly to the cloud. That's it. That's only outlay you have. $20 a month for your protection. That's like, what is that? That's like a Big Mac meal. Seriously, I mean, like,
and it's a tax deduction because it's a business expense. I mean, so
go check it out.
Either way, it's definitely a no-brainer when it comes to it. So yeah, there's a link going to be there's always a link in the description, because we definitely like Display Ride, just because of the fact it is cloud-based and it goes right to the cloud immediately. So that is good.
All right.
Hopefully, and one other thing before we move on, when it comes to because but body cameras are not necessarily the thing that people want to have, but if you have a dash camera, you know, try to get your car set up towards the door, or even, you know, if it can't, move your dash camera to where it will be recording the door, in the event something happens, so it can, you know, show you going up into the door, knocking on it, whatever happens. So in that case, it's just another way to protect yourself, another way to cover your ass in the event something happens, especially if they're like, oh, he didn't deliver my food, or she didn't deliver my food. Well, I got the dash camera right here showing that I was at your door. I put the food on floor and I took the picture. Again, when you take the picture of the number if you can, but the dash camera.
The body cam thing is a great idea. You know, a lot of these YouTubers, you know what they do, right? They have a GoPro on their head or their chest. They do the drive alongs. You know, they drive, oh, I delivered this, I delivered that. It's the same thing, except this is for your safety as well, because those don't have any safety. They're doing it for content creation. So I think it's a great idea, Chris. So what's the website? The displayride.com, www.displayride.com. Somebody's asking,
there's a link in the description if you want to.
Yeah, the link is in the description. RSG20 will get you 20% off on top of their 25% off that they have going already. So there you go.
All right, thanks for watching. That short little clip was from our live stream, Show Me the Money Club with Sergio and myself, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you subscribe, turn on all notifications so you get notified when we go live, as well as all of our awesome content. Make sure to check out this video right here, which will take you to the entire live stream, or check out this video right there. All right, drive smart, everyone.